you do not understand white supremacy, what it is, and how it works, everything else that you understand will only confuse you.
All right, good evening. Welcome back. Hello, world. I'm your host. My name is Jerrald President. And today, what I'm going to be talking about, I'm talking about the Federal Reserve and how much money is in circulation. And I'm going to be tying that to the U.S. debt clock. Now, what those that don't know, I want you to remember now, all you have to do, the things that I'm saying, please go to Google. I'm going to always put the screenshots throughout the video. Put Google up when you hear me talking. And so when you hear me saying certain things, just pause the show, and go to Google and type in what I'm saying. So you can get the actual illustration of what I'm talking about. Because you have to see it for yourself to sit and say, wow, this is real. Because a lot of times, I talk to a lot of people. And they always think that the stuff I'm saying is just, man, ain't no way this stuff is real, man. They always think it's a conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory. If you go to my website, jerraldpresident.info, I put all of this information on there. I want you to understand, information is free, which is why I don't believe in trying to charge you and tell you, hey, to donate to my site. Nah, man, that's some boo game. You don't have to donate. Information is free. We should all be able to partake of this because we need to pass it on to our seeds. Because if we continue to keep going down that rabbit hole, what you think gonna happen to our children, making them go down that rabbit hole? So again, to get back to the show, I'm talking about the Federal Reserve and how they publish exactly how much money is in circulation. And then I tied it in, and I'm tying it in to the U.S. debt clock, which where the United States constantly updates exactly how much money is being constantly put in circulation and all the different aspects of government. So now I want you to just listen to this really close. It says, now what I'm on the board of governors of the Federal Reserve System. Now I want you to listen to what it says. It says the Federal Reserve, the central bank of the United States, provides the nation with a safe, flexible, and stable monetary and financial system. I'm going to say it again, because this is how slick these people are. This is from the Federal Reserve of the United States. It's the bank for the banks, and where our United States government borrows the money. The Federal Reserve, the central bank of the United States, provides the nation with a safe, flexible, and stable monetary and financial system. So you scroll down, it says, how much U.S. currency is in circulation? I'll say it again. How much U.S. currency is in circulation? There was approximately 1.70 trillion in circulation as of January 31st, 2019. This figure includes the Federal Reserve notes, which is dollars, with the piece of paper that we have, is $1,655 billion. Again, I'm going to say it again. This figure includes Federal Reserve notes of $1.65 trillion. Did you understand that? I'm going to say it again. How much currency is in circulation? There was approximately 1.70 trillion in circulation as of January. Now, what's ironic about that is, now I'm going to the U.S. debt clock. The U.S. debt clock says the U.S. national debt right now is at $22.188 trillion. Now, I just explained to you, the Federal Reserve says there is approximately $1.70 trillion in circulation. You get that? See how fascinating this is? This is why we can't never move forward, because we don't even understand how this stuff works. These people just make up money out of thin air. They put it into circulation. But the majority of the money that we have is credit, which they apply interest to it. So they allow their little bankers to, hoard the rest of the money. So they give them a couple of dollars. They make them, tell them, put this in circulation. They put it in circulation. So they increase it by constantly giving out loans, which is why that car that you're driving out, that credit card you have, those store credits that you have, those are all loans through the banking system. Again, my last episode, I talked about the central bankers and how the central bankers allow the banks and the corporation to get the money at 0% interest. But for the public, you have to borrow that money and they apply interest on it. Now, I want you to understand something. As I go through the U.S. debt clock, it says there is approximately $3.37 trillion in federal tax revenue. And so the beautiful thing about the U.S. debt clock is you go to each little graphic where they have the money going up, and the positive is green and the negative is red, and you put the arrow on it, and it'll tell you where it comes from. Now, the U.S. federal tax revenue of $3.3 trillion says the U.S. federal tax revenue consists of the income tax, payroll tax, corporate tax, duties, and excess taxes. That is from the Congressional Budget Office. All this information comes from the United States government. So you have a national debt of $22.1 trillion, but they only take in $3.3 trillion. Correct, $3.3 trillion. That's something ain't adding up, right? But I previously told you the Federal Reserve says there's only $1.7 trillion in circulation. Now, I was never great in math in school or in college. Matter of fact, I was terrible. But I do understand basic math. And if there's only $1.7 trillion in actual currency circulation, but the United States government only takes in $3.3 trillion, but you have a national debt of $22 trillion, something ain't adding up. Now, let me just keep on going. I'm going to peruse through this for you because I want you to understand something. You scroll down and it tells you how much is in total interest paid. Total interest paid. Let me go down a little bit right there. Total interest paid now is $3.1 trillion. Now, earlier I just told you tax revenue is $3.3 trillion. U.S. total interest. Now, this is what they say. U.S. total interest paid includes household, business, state, and local governments, financial institutions, and the federal government. So think about this. Now, this comes from the Federal Reserve. See, all this information comes from the Congressional Budget Office, Federal Reserve. They're not making this stuff up. They tell you this because they know it's nothing you could do, nor I can do. And they know that you ain't paying attention to it. Why you ain't paying attention to it? Because you got the student loan on top of your head. You got the $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 mortgage. You got that $1,000 car note. You got that student loan where they hitting you for another $1,000. You got your tuition for your kids if they go to private school, or you have tuition for the daycare, or you have, those constant funds if you have young kids and they're in VPK. If you're paying attention, you get the gist of what I'm talking about. It's a mad dash, and we in some trouble, man. But let me finish on with this. Now, this is what's fascinating. It says U.S. total debt. U.S. total debt is $73.359 trillion. I'm going to say it again. $73 trillion is the U.S. total debt. But the U.S. national debt is $22 trillion. Now, the U.S. total debt, this is what they say about U.S. total debt. U.S. total debt includes household, business, state and local governments, financial institutions, and the federal government. So now what they do, they include it all. Include it all. And this is what's the kicker. It says total debt per citizen, $223,000. Now you sitting there like, remember now I told you, half of the population in America makes less than $35,000 a year. That's not from me. That's from the Social Security Administration. Half of the population is 163 million workers. Over 80 million people make less than $35,000. Now I'm being generous saying 35. If I'm correct, the actual number is like 31,000. So I'm being generous. I'm going to keep saying 35,000. 80 million people make less than that. But they're telling you, U.S. total debt per citizen is $223,000. But this is a kicker. Total debt per family, $870,000. Now, this is what they say. This is from Federal Reserve. U.S. total debt per family includes household, business, state, and local governments, financial institutions, and the federal government divided by the number of U.S. families. You see how gangster they are? They're not hiding this, but they're not going to teach your kids this while they're in high school. They're definitely not going to teach them this while they're in college. You know why those kids in college not going to know about this? Because they study taking courses that don't really mean anything. They make them take all these different courses. You in school for business, but yet they got you. You don't have to go to college for business. You just go out there and set up a shop and do it. You don't have to go to school for accounting. The computers do all the accounting. I mean, this is how sinister and criminal it is. Anthropology, you can go out there and just dig up bones on your own. All they do, people, is making up shit. You understand what I'm saying? This is the game. But, to continue to keep making this fictional system called America to function, we must make you think that you need to go and get all these pieces of worthless paper. But then this is funny. Then it says savings per family, which that means is liquid cash and personal savings for all U.S. households divided by the number of U.S. families. You know what that number is? $12,000. Now I want you to understand something. 6 in 10 in America, 6 in 10, that's 6 out of 10 people in America don't even have $500 in the bank account. But yet, on the U.S. debt clock, they're telling you savings per family is $12,860. Now you understand something. You got 400 people that have more money than all the black people in America. That's 40 million people. You have almost all the money in America tied up between maybe 1,000 families. That's why the number say 12,000. But I know if you're listening to this show, you ain't got $12,000 in the bank account. You know why? Because they know you don't. That's why they say 6 in 10 families in the United States don't even have $500 in the bank account. Well, I'm saying it again. So total debt per family is $870,000. Total debt per citizen is $223,000. U.S. total debt, $73 trillion. Student loan. Student loan is at $1.59 trillion. That'll be $2 trillion in about 5 more years. Let me see. Mortgage debt. I want you to understand something. You grab every home in America, every home. Total debt is $15 trillion. Now, can you imagine what would have happened when the economy collapsed in 2008? And instead of the United States government bailing out the banks, they forced every bank to write off your mortgage. Got to remember, these people, the banks don't own your mortgage. What they're doing is they're servicing the loan. They packaged that up and sold it to trust funds and pension funds and sent it around the world in sovereign wealth funds. The banks don't have your note. Do you understand that? So because the banks don't have your note, what they're doing is they basically are rentiers. They just sitting there grabbing the money that you send in, getting a little piece and sending it on off. They don't even have it. But just imagine if we can reset the button and the United States government did bail out the banks who got themselves in trouble through derivatives, which I'm going to get to as I go further into this show. But they pressed that reset button and they erased everyone's mortgage notes. Can you imagine how this economy would have took off? See, I don't believe in capitalism. There's no such thing as capitalism. I had a discussion the other day. Me and my friends was talking about that. And I told them, hey, man, quit using fancy words. Capitalism is just a fancy word that white supremacists use to make sure that they can make you think that it means something. It doesn't mean anything. You know what capitalism was? There was free labor for my ancestors. You know what capitalism now? There's free labor for the people that's got their corporations over there in China or somewhere in Malaysia or somewhere in Southeast Asia. You understand? Capitalism only is for the ones that have access to the capital. Well, if you start from zero like myself, my ancestors, you never touch that capital. Yes, a few of us that do get them. Some of us do get them. I'm not going to sit here and say some people are living a pretty good life. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the majority, the collective, are not. And they have too many estimates showing you how, especially the descendants of slaves right here in America are headed for zero wealth by 2053. Now, to be honest with you, we already done. But these are just to, fixate on that particular number. I don't know what it means, but I'm from Miami. It's a wasteland. It's a wasteland. Every place you go, they're gentrifying it. Another fancy word. Basically, doing the displacing the impoverished, the poor people. You don't see the poor white people because they hide them off of the expressways and trailer parks. Same way how they hide the poor black communities with expressways, interstates, diving right through the heart of the cities. So, and then they put up these gigantic barriers, so you can't see on either side. And they make sure, when you're traveling, it's always signs. The big beaches, they have a big old sign that say, just keep this way, because they don't want them. They don't want you to get off on one of those wrong exits, and you might get touched. Especially in Miami, you get off on 62nd, 79th, and you go right instead of left. Oh my Lord, you might get touched because people hungry. Man, when people hungry and they see a meal coming through them, they gotta eat. If that means they gotta lay you down, they're gonna lay your ass down. But what you expect to happen when you basically have economic segregation? See, white America doesn't even realize what's getting ready to come to them. Economic segregation is real, and it's coming to a city near you. Always remember, I am the canary in the mine, and we dying. We already been inhaling them fumes. We've been dying since they brought us here off the bottom of them boats. Again, we was already here before then. But for the purposes of these shows, I'm talking when they came in and colonized it. Occupied this land. So again, because I'm that canary in the mine, it's only a matter of time for them fumes to come touch your ass. So let me get back to this. Credit card debt, $1 trillion. But I'm going to tell you what's the wildest thing that's on here. It's something called currency and credit derivatives. That number is $634 trillion. I'm going to say it again. Currency and credit derivatives. And I'm going to explain to you what a derivative is. It says, a derivative or a credit default swap is a credit derivative contract between two parties. The buyer receives a payoff and if an underlying financial instrument defaults, which would happen in 2008. The banks defaulted. American International, that's AIG, they insured this. Well, the other party that won the bet, they came for their money. AIG didn't have the money. So the United States government had to bail out that insurance company to make those people who won whole. And the ones that lost, they was eating. They was eating Barons. They was eating Wachovia. These people was gobbled up. So in 2008, they said that poor people who bought homes, who couldn't afford it, was the reason. No, it's because these people sold those homes and they knew you couldn't afford it, but then they also made bets on the back end. But they didn't, if you weren't paying attention to the financial shows or C-SPAN, you want to watch the hearings. But these people specifically said they did this on purpose. They knew what they was doing. The only people that didn't know what they was doing was somebody like you. Now, I want you to understand something, purpose of the show. 2010, 2011, I started my website. And I constantly put this out there. And I've always tried to make my friends understand what was going on. Now, it's on them what they took it or not. I just believe in this passion for. I believe in dropping them seeds. 2010, 2011, I participated in what we're doing with the Occupy movement. People was feeling it then. But then came, Mr. Obama. He smoothed it out, the Pied Piper. He smoothed it out. He was real smooth in how he finagled and backdoor slid that money to the banks, but also made you feel good. He gave you a shot of that, hey man, everything gonna be all right. You got this cool black dude, hey man, he hip, he dirt off his shoulders at the campaign. He made everybody, he incorporated a little hip hop in it alone, but you never understood that he was still operating for the white supremacists, which is why the banks were bailed out. So the Occupy movement was co-opted and the system kept on forward. But I remember simultaneously, you had the Tea Party. So you had two sides being financed by the same people. You got to remember, the central bankers are the ones who are financing everything. So I'm going to go back to this again. The derivatives of the United States, $634 trillion. I just told you it's only $1.7 trillion in actual currency floating. The United States government total debt, the national debt is $22 trillion. It's only $15 trillion in mortgages, $1.5 trillion in student loans, $3.3 trillion in money that the United States government takes in. Yet you have $634 trillion in derivatives. You ain't understanding that. It's basic math. Something is not adding up. But I'm going to tell you what's going to add up. Those bills that's coming through you in that mailbox when you go open up your mailbox. We got to understand, people, and the only way we're going to change this, we got to understand the finances, which is why the show is called Politics, Economics, and the Struggle to Survive in America. See, they use the politics, but the economics is always center because you can't function without the economics, but it's their economics. This is not real economics. They don't know what economics is. The global world, this planet was created off of communes. Communes, we all put it together, we build together, and somewhere thousands of years ago, it flipped. And someone decided, you know what? Man, let me add some. If I'm loaning this person this, I might add an extra to it if he wanted, because hey, maybe he might. And it caught on. Now it's a global operation. And it's a global operation that we're not going to be able to get from underneath it. Which is not. Because we're not talking about destroying the system. It's always reforming. We're always talking about reforming it. But it's not us. See, the people that's on the ground, they know what's going on. Which is why you don't never see them TV cameras in your neighborhood. They only come through when somebody got killed. You're never going to see no shows like this talking about this type of stuff. Now, there are on the internet. Which is why more and more people are going to the internet to get their information. That's what's happening. Which is why they want to shut it down. And they want to put you right back through them, the ABC groups. ABC, NBC, MSNBC, Fox. That's where they want you on. Because then they can constantly keep manipulating your thought process. So I'm going to say it again. Derivatives, $634 trillion. Now the global derivatives is 1 point something to 2 point something quadrillion dollars. See, this is not just happening here in America. You got to understand when I say global white supremacy is everywhere. And this system, what they call economics, capitalism, they spread that everywhere. So whether you in Asia, on the continent of Africa, South or Central America, these people have implemented that. I got to give it to them. It's a very ingenious system that they've set up. But we have the numbers. Do we have the will? Whatever we say, everybody just threw their mortgage notes in the garbage can. And we say we're not going to pay it. And I'm not just talking about us. I'm talking about the people that try to go get to enforce it. Because let's believe those cops that's coming to get it, they don't have the money to pay their mortgage off. Which is why they use Gestapo tactics, slave patrol tactics on the population. And they hate you speaking truth. But eventually, when that pensions are gone, because it's only a matter of time. You think they're not going for those pensions? Go talk to people in Illinois. Go talk to people in New Jersey. Go out to California. They coming for those pensions. They coming for them because the well is running dry. And so they're going to have to go there because the central bankers want it that way. Where to go at? You don't know where to go at, do you? Hey, man, that's why I say I love living in America because you can't make this stuff up. Hey, this is Politics, Economics, the Struggle to Survive in America. Peace.
The dark brown shades of my skin only add color to my tears. Oh, that splash against my hollow bones that rocks my soul. Looking back over my false dreams that I wondering why my dreams never came true. Is it because I'm black? Somebody tell me, what can I do? Oh Lord, oh, something is holding me back. Is it because I'm black? Yeah. In this world of no pity, I was raised in the ghettos of the city. Yeah, oh Lord. Mama, she worked so hard to earn every penny. Yeah, yeah. Oh Lord, something is holding me back. Is it because I'm black? A child stealing his first piece of candy and got caught. Peeping around life's corner somewhere, I got lost. Oh, something is holding me back. I wonder, is it because I'm black? Oh, somebody tell me, what can I do? Will I survive or will I die? Oh, you keep on holding me back. Keep on holding on. Keep on picking on me. Oh, keep on holding me back. Keep on holding on. Keep on holding on. You're holding me back. I wonder why you do me like that. But you keep on holding me back. Keep on putting your foot on me. But I've got to break away somehow and someday. 'Cause I want to be somebody so bad, so bad. I want to be somebody. I want to be somebody so bad. You see, I want diamond rings and things like you do. And I want to drive Cadillac cars. Oh, I want to be somebody so bad. But you keep on putting your foot on me. And I believe I can break away and be somebody somehow in some way. You see, I heard somebody say one time, you can make it if you try. Oh, and some of us, we're trying so hard. We're trying so hard. I want you to know that I don't speak for myself, but I speak for y'all too right now. You see, if you're half white, light brown skinned, or high yellow, you're still black. So we all got to stick together right now. This I want to say to you, my sisters and my brothers. Right on, sister. Right on, brother. Dig this. If we keep on pushing, y'all, oh, we got to make it a little bit further. We got to make it a little further. All we got to do is try. And some of us, somebody. We're trying so hard, although they're holding us back. And it stands to reason that they're doing us like that. You know what? It is. I believe it's because we're black. But hey,